The Pompey faithful want a goalkeeping change for the visit of Sheffield United this weekend, but will it happen? We're reviewing that unfortunate Burnley loss, and we're doing it with great company with four very fed up Pompey fans. Welcome to Where Pompey Walk. It is the quickest and fastest and most comprehensive review of all things Portsmouth on the internet. We know there's an hour-long podcast. This is 20 minutes. It's weekly, it's rapid, and it's passionate. This is Where Pompey Walk. Welcome back, Sam. Welcome back, Jake, and welcome back, Sam. Hope you are all well. Cards on table. Lots of accumulators on Saturday. We're waiting for a Burnley goal, including my own. So I am got to apologise to you straight away. I did leap off the sofa, but you guys were in the stands, and I know you will have felt that. We're going to talk about that result. We're also going to talk about right backs, and we'll talk about the Sheffield United game this weekend. Let's jump straight into it. Sam, Norris, how much of a sickener was that, given how well you played?
Yeah, it's obviously a tough one to take. I mean, I could say I was watching with my dad, and I could see it coming. I said late goals coming in, because you could see we were starting to sit back, despite how well we played, and you could just see it was coming. It was just heartbreaking the way it played out.
In terms of performances, though, was that one of your better away performances? I mean, you did well at Leeds, but was that the more, in terms of defensively solid, apart from obviously the last couple of minutes?
Yeah, definitely. I think we can all see the big impact that we have with Regan Paul coming back. I think he was immense on Saturday. So hopefully we can bring that forward into following games and hopefully start to get a few points on the board. So,
okay. All right, we've got a Sheffield United fan standing by, so we'll bring him in a second to talk about the next game. But before we do, Sam, the big question is around Norris. Pompey Twitter was only mentioning one player. Does he need shelving for you?
No, not really. I think he's had good service to the club, and I think last season, I was thinking about it last night. Last season, he didn't really get tested all that much because I don't really think we played against solid teams last year. Now that we're playing against solid teams and better quality teams, he's being tested a lot more often. He's made some incredible saves. Last week, where he cleared the one off the line, was absolutely amazing. So I really don't think there's a need to change him. And yeah, he's doing all right, in my opinion.
Okay. Jake, there's a large part of the fan base which is saying, let's give Schmidt a chance. What do you say?
I'd stick with Norris personally. I think, obviously, with Schmidt, we've just signed a new goalkeeper, and often when you get a new player in, there's a little bit of excitement around them. But realistically, we don't actually know what he's like. So we haven't seen him play. With Norris, goalkeepers sometimes are easy targets, aren't they, when you're conceding goals? If you look at the goals he's conceded, he couldn't really do a lot about many of them. So I don't think we need to panic just yet and make massive changes. Personally, I would stick with Norris for now.
Okay. A lot's been made about your fixture lists. Even on this channel, we've highlighted it. If we just go back to Stuart's point there, he says by next week we'll have played 5 of these 6. West Brom, of course, Sunderland, Burnley. You will play Sheffield United, and Leeds. As frustrating it is, 3 points at this stage doesn't tell the full story. You guys are very calm when you come on here each week and talk to us. You know, we talk to Cardiff fans, Sheffield Wednesday fans are panicking, of course, as well. But you guys aren't bothered by your start whatsoever. Sam, is that because you can look at the table and look at the oppositions that you've played and go, yeah, it will turn around? Or is it because you've got 100% faith, whether it's blind or not, in the players and the management?
I think not only the tough start we've had is bad enough, but like the injuries we've had as well has obviously had a big impact. Like we haven't had Bishop or Yengi really for the whole season. I know Yengi came back for a couple of games, but he's obviously injured again. So I think the performances have been in and out, but so far you can't be too angry.
All right. Sam, is it going to turn around this weekend against Sheffield United then, or are we going to start the week after?
It's tough. It's tough to play against those relegated teams that have had those parachute payments from the Premier League, and then for us coming up as well and adjusting. I'm always hopeful every week that we play. And I could see us getting another draw. If we get another draw this weekend, again, I'd be happy with that. But yeah, it's getting a little dreary. I don't know. I know we spoke to you a couple of weeks ago with us being a little bit positive, but yeah, it's starting to get a little dreary now of when the win is going to come.
Yeah, I watched the West Brom game a couple of weekends ago, and yeah, I know you want to forget about that performance as quickly as possible. Let's have a look at some of the takes, Jake. This one says Portsmouth started the championship is ridiculous. By the way, after the Sheffield United game, you could even argue they played the top 7 sides all in a row. We've been competitive in each game and we'll be fine this season. Sam says it was a tough one to take today, but looking for the positives. Regan Poole is an elite level championship centre half. What a return that was. Are you having that? I mean, he's good. Is he elite level championship for you, Jake?
He's certainly got the potential to be. He's got to prove himself in the championship as well as anyone else in our team. Obviously, Marlon Pack and McIntyre have got a bit of championship experience, but not many others have. Every time I've seen him play, he's been a class act. Really has been good. So I definitely think he's got the potential to be an elite level championship player. Definitely, yeah.
Okay. There was one other player coming in for a bit of criticism online, and I'm sure in the stands as well. Peter says, I'm getting massive Charlie Daniels vibes from Richie. How the hell was he a Premier League player last season? And Harry says, good morning to everyone apart from Norris and Richie. All right, Sam, is this unfair?
I mean, he did. The Premier League commentator. He didn't play that many games last season, did he? Obviously, he was like a fringe player on that Newcastle squad, but he hasn't impressed me so far. I know, obviously, he hasn't played in a while. He hasn't had a lot of minutes, but yeah, I mean, he hasn't been amazing.
Sam?
Just every time he stepped onto the field, I know he's a Pompey cult hero, but every time he stepped onto the field, he just hasn't looked match ready. Just hasn't looked up to play, and it's that comment was harsh, but I think he's got a point there.
Okay. Jake, we're talking about a legend here. We can't have this slander, can we? Come on.
I've got to be a bit careful because I know him personally, so I can't say too much. But I think he'll be very disappointed with what happened with Burnley's second goal. I think he tried like a back heel on the edge of our own box, and they've gone on and scored, and he'll look back at that and be disappointed. But he's got so much quality. I think he'll come through, and it will be good for us. On and off the pitch with his experience and the way he is around the changing room, he'll definitely be an asset for us this season.
Very diplomatically put. Okay, well done. Okay, here's the team then for Sheffield United, as what one poster has put. Let's debate it. So I'm going to be quiet for a second and let you three have a chat. Norris, Williams, Poole, McIntyre, Ogilvie, Camera Pack, Blair, Lang, Murphy, Sorensen. Sam, Norris, argue with that.
Oh, I've got no problem with Norris. I think the slander on him is very harsh. I think that team's not far off it. I think Sorensen obviously had that brilliant start against Leeds that first day of the season, but we're short up top, so maybe, yeah. I think it's not far off.
Sam?
Yeah, I think we have to change something up front. Sadie is not a striker that can play up front by himself. He's more of a supporting striker. I do want to know what's going on with Yengi. I think it's maybe 50-50 injury and 50-50 attitude. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but yeah, I mean, I like that lineup.
Jake, anything you'd change?
I thought Swanson at right back. I know we're going to talk about right backs soon, but yeah, I thought he had a good game Saturday. So dropping him would be a bit harsh. I was also impressed with Potts, who we've got on loan from West Ham in the middle. But every time I've seen Kamara play, he's got a lot of ability. I know he's come over from Dortmund, so it might take him a little bit of time to get used to the English game, but he's got a lot of ability. So yeah, seeing him from the start wouldn't be an issue for me. I'd be happy with that team if that was the team that got put out.
Okay, all right then. Let's bring in our Sheffield United fan. Let's get his take on all things Blades. Welcome, Connor, from the Terrace Talk Network, where Blades Walk. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thanks.
You ready for your long trip down south this weekend?
Not looking forward to it.
From a distance, as a Pompey fan, of course, Blades' results will look impressive. You've minus 2 points, so really you should be, I think, third on goal difference, if I'm not mistaken. But where's the chink in this Blades armoury, if there is one?
I mean, it's a bit difficult for me to pinpoint an exact area. I mean, all season there hasn't really been many players that have put forward. I think the only player I can think that's had a few errors in his game was Jack Robinson, and luckily for us, he's been out injured. And since then, Sutar and Ahmed Odzic have formed one of the best partnerships in the league. So yeah, for me, probably the main weakness for us is a lack of goals. Obviously, Kiefer Moore, he's not really your classic goal scorer like when we've had our Billy Sharps. So for me, the only thing that could ultimately stop us from winning is not scoring enough goals. Obviously, we've seen Pompey have put 3 past Leeds. They give Burnley a good game as well. So I don't think by any stretch of the imagination it's going to be us just come down there and walk them over. I think we're really going to have to work for the 3 points. But I would like to think that we will go there and maybe nick a 1-0 or a 2-1. But yeah, definitely a lack of goals could cost us.
Jake, Hamer is the guy pulling the strings for Blades at the moment. Popped up with a nice free kick goal, of course, this weekend. Who would you task and how would you task your guys to stop him this weekend?
I think we're probably looking at Marlon Pack in that situation, trying to get hold of him and stop him from doing what he does. Kiefer Moore is someone I'm concerned about this weekend because although obviously we've got our 2 centre backs back and fit, and they are great players, neither of them are that big in stature. And Kiefer Moore, what is he, 6'3", 6'4", balls coming into the box could potentially be a bit of an issue for us. So I'd be a little bit more concerned about him, to be honest.
Isn't the problem though, Connor, that he's not been in the box to receive those? He's been out wide, hasn't he? I think
Yeah,
that's the criticisms.
I think I'm not 100% sure how he's like. I know when he scored 20 goals before in the Championship, I'm not sure if he had a partner up front with him. Obviously, in this formation, he's up front on his own. So sometimes I feel like he does feel a bit too isolated. He wants to get involved in the game, so he does drop deep, maybe go out wide a bit more than he should. Whereas if you can just keep him centrally, obviously we've got Gus, we've got Raksake, we've got Brooks that can put great balls into the box on top of the likes of Harrison Burrows, who's got a great free kick on him, a great cross as well. But I think the main target for us is if we have corners, it's Sutar that you've got to worry about more than Kiefer Moore because he wins every header without fail, considering he's like, 6'7". He's our main asset from pretty much every set piece. He wins 99% of those headers. Kiefer Moore, he's great at bringing people into play, holding the ball up. His decision making has been a bit poor so far, and his last touch, it's been a bit off. He probably could have had 3 or 4 goals by now. The fact he's only got 1 might be slightly concerning, but obviously he's still only early doors.
Okay. All right, let's get some score predictions. Sam, can you take it for Pompey?
Yeah, I mean, like the home form hasn't been great this year so far, so we're hoping to get the 3 points, but I can see it being like a 2-0 Sheffield United. unfortunately.
All right. 1 week you'll predict to win, I'm sure. Connor?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tight, but I'd like to say maybe 1-0 Blades.
Okay. All right. Enjoy the game. It's going to be fascinating. It's not on telly, is it, this one? I don't think. Is it a standard? Is it 3 o'clocker?
3 o'clock, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Would have liked to have watched this one instead of Luton against Plymouth, but never mind. We can't pick all the games. Cheers, Connor, for joining us, and for the rest
no
of you,
problem.
let's rate some right backs. Okay, so according to Transfer Market, this is the current state of play in terms of strength and depth of right backs for Portsmouth. So of course, we've already gone through goalkeepers, central defenders, and left backs. So do check back to previous videos for those reviews. Sam, Cap Sam, how do you evaluate? the strength and depth of this position in your club?
Yeah, I don't mind them. Williams is decent as a right back, not as a centre back when he plays centre back. And like Jake said earlier, Swanson's decent at right back as well. And then, I mean, if we do need to play Poole there, I guess we could, but I don't know who else would fill in for Poole at centre back. But yeah, I think it's a strong group, and I think it's probably one of our strongest positions on the field.
Yeah. Jake, would you go along with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think Swanson and Williams are both as comfortable as each other, really. And if either one of them was starting right back on Saturday, I'd be comfortable. So yeah, good position for us.
Okay. Now that we've come to the end then of our full run through the defence, I'm going to ask you each for your grading, if you like, of Pompey defensively. Ignore the goals you've conceded so far, but as a unit, goalkeeper and a back four, and the depth you've got, out of 10, Sam, what grade do you give it?
I think obviously when all fit, I'll give it a solid 8, to be honest. Obviously we haven't been blessed with injuries, with Bain Boat recently being brought out for 6 months, and obviously Jacob Farrell we're yet to see, but from what I've seen with that defence, I'm quite happy with it, yeah.
Okay. Jake?
I'll say 7. Just based on, obviously, yeah, now we've got people back fit and we're going to go almost full strength. It might nudge up to an 8, but I'll say 7 for now.
Okay, cool. Sam?
For the first 90 minutes, I'm going to go 7.5. For the last 5 minutes, and including stoppage time, I'm going to go 4 or 5. Okay. Too many goals conceded in the late stages, I'm afraid.
What about as it stands as a whole, though, as for the whole season rather than just one game?
I'd have to go 7. Just we need more strength back there, I think.
Okay, I think the average is out at 7.5. Put your comments in the below. What would you give it? Thanks for that, fellas. Before we let you go, we are heading into October, which is notorious for sackings. How secure is your gaffer's position as it stands at the moment? Some will say he's unsackable. Sam, would you go that far?
I mean, yeah, obviously with the new deal literally being announced a couple of days ago, I think no Pompey fan would want Messina to go, in my opinion. I think he's one of the most promising managers in the division, so it'd be stupid to let him go, yeah.
Jake?
Yeah, I agree, yeah. Unless they put some sort of compensation clause in his new deal to say that they don't have to pay to get rid of him, I think he's pretty safe.
And Sam?
I don't know. I'm actually a little controversial on this one. I'm not sure he's there tactically. Yes, he's done great for the club, but he hasn't really hit any barrier right now with losses and everything like that. So it'll be interesting to see what the next couple of months comes up. But yeah, I'm on the fence with this one.
Right, okay. There are some, and this is a general comment to you all, that say, look, when you get promoted, it's about, yes, giving your manager some time, but when it becomes clear that you need another manager to come in who gets that level, can move you on another level. Like if you were to get to the Premier League with Mourinho, then ultimately you would need a new manager to come in at that point and make you Premier League quality. But sometimes loyalty from fans can be blinded. Have you seen enough from your manager so far to suggest that he can grasp this league?
I mean, I think that obviously the opening day against Leeds, I think that gave a lot of Pompey fans a lot of promising signs. The only concern so far has been the home form, because the last couple of years, really, we've looked dominant at home. And if we do get beat at home, it's a bit of a shock. So, yeah, getting used to, obviously, that West Brom and Sunderland result is a bit worrying, but I'll stand by him.
Okay. All right. I can't budge you, can you? None of you. I might break Sam maybe in a couple of weeks if results go down. Okay.
You got to see what results get like. Yeah, come December, I might be Mourinho out. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, all three of you. This one, enjoy your game against Sheffield United. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. We are massively growing and we really appreciate all the support we've got, so drop us a subscribe and a like if you haven't. Do follow Sam at Pompey_Sam on Twitter, and Jake is on Twitter as well, although we'll put his address in the comments, and also the other Sam as well. And we want to hear your gradings for the defence. Drop it below. Thank you very much, you three. We'll see you in a week's time.
Thanks
for watching.
Thanks.